My videos cover a wide variety of topics, and basically all of my videos are centered around the topic of masculinity in some type of way. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing why every married man should have a hobby. All right, so let's get straight into it. But before I do, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. If you've already subscribed, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Shout outs to you. Let's get straight into it. So, why should every married man have a hobby? So, first and foremost, we do the best that we can as men, as husbands, to be the best husbands that we can be to our wives. We try the best that we can to financially support them, provide for them, be there for them emotionally, and all of those good things that come with being a husband, all right? And then also with the kids, we try our best to be the best fathers that we can be. We try our best to spend as much time with our kids as we possibly can. You know, we make sacrifices and all of those good things. And at the end of the day, as men, as married men, as fathers, it's good to take the time out at least every now and then for ourselves to enjoy something that we would like to do. And not taken away from being a husband or from being a father. Those are fantastic within themselves, okay? But at the end of the day, it's very important for every married man, every father, to have hobbies, or at least one hobby that you really enjoy doing, where it's just you, okay? And it's all fine and dandy, you know, to take your kids along with you sometimes, or bring your wife along with you sometimes, you know, if they enjoy the same hobby. But it's also good to spend that time with yourself as well, because we put a lot of time into our wives. We put a lot of time into our kids as well. And it's just good to take the time to ourselves and enjoy that hobby that we have, whether that be going to the gun range or playing basketball, baseball, doing some type of sport, going to the gym, whatever your hobby may be. In my personal opinion, all right, it's very important that we take the time that we need to enjoy doing the things that we enjoy to do. Now, naturally, having a wife, having kids comes with responsibilities, and you don't want to you don't want to have that misaligned, okay? So I'm coming from the perspective of, I feel like I'm a great husband. I feel like I take care of responsibilities with my kids and things like that. But of course, you don't want to be imbalanced, I guess you would say. But I'm just coming from the perspective of saying that all men should have a hobby, because at the end of the day, having that hobby only helps you be even a better husband, even a better father, because you get to take a breather, you get to step away from the home and enjoy yourself, free your mind up. Have some fun. I know when I step out and I do certain things, which is not a whole lot of times, and I'm working on that. But when I step out and do things, I go to the gun range, or I go play basketball, so on and so forth. It feels so great. It feels so great to do those things and then come back home knowing that, okay, I just stepped out, did something that I really enjoyed, did something that I genuinely had fun doing. All right, so now let's get back to being a great husband. Now let's get back to being a great father, because I found that, it's really easy for me to do this. I saw my dad do this throughout the course of my life, and I just took that on. But it's really easy for me to just go super hard for my wife, go super hard for my kids and things like that. And that's great, but what I came to find is that you want to have a healthy approach with it. And I can't tell somebody how to be a husband or how to be a father. I don't want to come off like that, but you want to have a healthy approach as a man and have a healthy balance as well, because at the end of the day, us as men, we're still individuals. I know that, when you come together in marriage, you become one and all of those good things. I get it. And you want to be there for your kids as much as possible, but you're still an individual person at the same time. Okay, you still have your interests, you still have the things that you like to do, and it's good to step out within a reasonable amount of times to go do those things, because when you don't do those things, when you don't have those hobbies, you may find yourself being burned out. You may find yourself being bored or really not feeling ambitious, I guess you would say. And it's just great to get out and do things. You know, whether you go out to eat by yourself, going to the gym. Like I'm headed to the gym right now. I go to the gym consistently. Okay, I don't really consider that a big hobby. I consider that more so just a lifestyle kind of, because I try my best to stay healthy. You know, but I can see how people can consider that as a hobby. All right, so I'll be very transparent with you guys to a certain extent. Now, I was at church. This happened, I want to say, within the past 6 to 8 months. Every now and then I go to a men's group at our church. You know, it's a men's Bible study / prayer. And one of the icebreaker questions before we got started with the Bible study, okay, the icebreaker question was, okay, we're going to go around the room. I think it was probably at least about 20 of us in there, all right? And what they had us do was, for the icebreaker question was, okay, they asked, all right, what is everybody's hobby? And I kid you not, when that question was asked, and I told my wife about this, and I found it to be very fascinating. When that question was asked, I kid you not, I couldn't think of anything. I couldn't think of any hobbies. I was like, man, I'm about to lie in church. I'm about to just make up a lie real quick. For a split second, I was thinking that I'm about to just make up something, because I don't have anything, you know. So as it was approaching my turn, I had to think, and I was like, wow, like this is crazy how I have to think about this, because I don't have a consistent hobby that I do. You know, you may be watching this and maybe you can just blurt it out like, oh yeah, I go to the gun range, I go to the batting cage, or I go play tennis, or I go swimming, or I go fishing. You know, it could just roll right off your tongue. But me, on the other hand, like, nah. In that moment, while I was in that Bible study at church, my mind just drew a blank. I kid you not. And I'm just, as my turn approaches, you know, other guys are raising their hand like, oh yeah, I go fishing, I go this. I'm like, man, this is crazy, yo. I don't know what I'm about to say. And the closest thing that I can say, you know, without lying, is, okay, I go to the gym. And like I say, I don't really consider that like a big hobby. That's more like a lifestyle. I just do that to try to stay healthy, gain muscle, and lose weight and all those types of things, okay? So my turn came around, and that's all I could really think of, like going to the gym. And it hit me at that point in time. I'm like, man, you know what? I do the best that I can as a husband, and it's not my husband. I mean, that's not my wife's fault or anything like that. You know, some people may say, oh man, your wife is holding you back, or your kids or whatever. You caged in, you're not free. And it's none of that. You know, it's all on me. You know, my wife, that's not how my wife is at all. You know, she's very supportive. But I thought, you know, when that question was asked, I was like, wow, that's a very interesting question. I'm glad that he asked that. It just sparked all types of ideas and thoughts in my mind at that time. I'm like, wow, man, I'm a married man. I've got 3 kids. At the time, I had 3 kids. I've got 4 now. My wife is pregnant with our 4th child. But it really just, it hit me hard, though, in a good way. And I was like, man, I don't know if this is healthy for me. I think that, not that I want to get away from my wife or my kids, I want to give that disclaimer. I know a lot of times in my videos I give these disclaimers. It's just that I want to be clear in what I'm saying. I don't want to come off as if I want to escape my wife or escape my kids. That's never been on my mind to do that. But anyway, yeah, that thought came across my mind while I was in church. Like, wow, I don't know if the way that I'm approaching this is necessarily healthy for myself. Okay, so I'm doing the best I can do as a husband and as a father. You know, of course, there's things that I need to improve on and things like that. But also, it's like, okay, well, it's good to step aside for a reasonable amount of time, you know, and just do things that I really enjoy, you know. And I love spending time with my wife, and I love spending time with my kids. But just speaking for myself, you know, things that I would like to do myself, you know, play basketball. I have my own t-shirt. I have my own t-shirt line. I have my own website, lightshinecreations.com. I'll leave a description to that. I'll leave a link to that in the description. I sell Christian-based t-shirts. You know, and I really enjoy working on those things. You know, I really enjoy playing basketball. It's not a lot of things that I can name, you know, but those are just some of them. I enjoy going to the gun range. Now, with me, a lot of times those things take time. You know, in the back of my mind, I am thinking about that. Okay, I go to the gun range. That's an hour. Okay, and I really enjoy it, but based on the logistics of our household, sometimes that doesn't really fit in too well. Or sometimes at the end of the day, you know, the kids are asleep, and I can go to the gun range. Now I'm tired. I just want to go to sleep and just chill out, watch a movie, and just chill. You know. But that question in Bible study, and I'm so glad that I went that day, it really just sparked something in me where I'm like, okay, I got to treat myself better. Not that I have to get selfish, you know, treat my wife in a selfish manner, or my kids in a selfish manner, or just totally omit them or forget about them. But I have to look at myself too and say, you know what? I don't want to neglect myself, you know, as a man, as a husband, and as a father, because the comparison that I give people, and maybe it doesn't make sense to a lot of people when I say it, but it does to me. So you look at Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player of all time, all right? You look at any of the greatest NBA players, it's 48 minutes in an NBA game. And the greatest players, that they're playing the hardest that they can the whole time that they're in the game. Now keep in mind, it's 48 minutes in an NBA game, okay? So that's how I kind of approach, not to compare it to the NBA or something like that, but you guys get what I mean. But that's how I kind of approach marriage and my kids. I play the whole game, I go hard the whole time, all right? So I go home and I be the best I can be to my wife, be the best that I can be to my kids. You know, like I said, there's always room for improvement and things like that. But when you look at the greatest athletes in the NBA, right? Okay, the time that they're on the floor, they're going to give it their all. Just like I'm going to give it my all in marriage and with my kids, right? But what you'll notice is, eventually, at some point during the game, all right, coach called a timeout, ref blows the whistle, like, hey, yo, LeBron, hey, come over here, take a break. You know, Giannis, come on over, take a break for a few minutes. And see, that's what I wasn't doing. I wasn't really taking a break like that. You know, I'm just staying in the game, like, nah, I'm good, coach. Like, just leave me in the game all 48 minutes, all 82 games of the season. And it's like, nah, you know, it's just, you at some point, you got to sit down. This is what I told myself as a man, as a husband, and as a father. Like, at some point, you got to sit down, got to rejuvenate, got to get some rest, all right? Take a little bit easy, take a break, take a breather, and then get back into the game. Get back into, you know, being a great husband, being a great father, okay? But have that balance, because before, like I say, I was just playing all 48 minutes. All 82 games of the season, every game of the playoffs too. That's how I would put it. Maybe they don't make sense to y'all, but they make a lot of sense to me. So I thought about it like, yeah, you know, man, you know, even the greatest athletes, they take a break. They're not playing the whole game. So I'm like, man, you know what? I need to take a break sometimes, you know, and just do things that I enjoy. Find out new hobbies, find out new things that I may have an interest in that I find to be fun. And I've really been making a true effort to do that ever since I went to that Bible study. So I would encourage other men. I remember I told one of my homies about it. He's single. And I told him, I say, man, look, you know, the things that you do now as a single person before you get married. And again, if you've watched some of my videos on here, you'll see me say that, you know, even before I got married, I was more so of a homebody. I didn't really get out like that. I wasn't like a really big social dude. I didn't really do a whole lot of things besides play basketball, listen to music, and stuff like that. You know, hang out with my friends. You know, I did the same few things. And I'm still kind of the same way as a full-grown adult, as a husband and as a father. I'm still kind of the same way. I don't really get out and explore a whole bunch of things, you know. But anyway, I kind of lost my train of thought with that one. But yeah, anyway, I was telling my homie, I say, look, you're single right now, all right? Whatever you do right now for fun, you play basketball, you lift weights, you play baseball, you go to the gun range, you go painting or you like to draw, you're into the arts, or you're in whatever you're into right now. Keep that desire for that, all right? And then once you get married, because he aspires to get married one day, but I told him, like, look, once you get married, keep doing those things. Don't just cut everything off, all right? Because that's basically what I did. Like, okay, again, no fault to my wife, because she's very supportive. No fault on my kids or anything like that. It's just my mindset. I've just always been a 100% go hard, let's get it, let's accomplish this type dude. That's how I always been. But like I say, from that Bible study, I found it hit me hard. Like, yo, I need to be more balanced. I need to have a more balanced approach, because you don't want to naturally, you can, again, going back to the NBA example, you leave LeBron James, the second best NBA player of all time. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. But anyway, LeBron James, second best player in the NBA of all time, right? They're not leaving him in the game for 48 straight minutes. And if they do, it's going to make the news like, wow, this dude played 48 straight minutes. What's going on? Now you might play 35, 40 minutes, but 48, yet alone 48 minutes every single game? Nah. But anyway, yeah, I was telling my homie, man, like, hey, once you get married, keep your hobbies, bro. Keep your hobbies. Don't just say, you know what? I'm just gonna scrap everything. I'm just gonna scrap all this, and just do what I can, do the best I can as a husband and as a father. Now, on the surface, that is a very good idea. That's a very good idea on the surface, all right? But once you really look into that, it's not really the healthiest lifestyle, because you don't want to neglect yourself. And now, don't get me wrong, it's good to make healthy compromises, within your marriage and with your kids. It's good to make sacrifices, for your wife and for your kids and things like that. But you wanna do it in a healthy manner, all right? So I told my guy, I'm like, man, look, keep your hobbies. If whatever you're doing right now, just keep doing them when you get married too, because it's gonna make you that much more rounded, that much more balanced. And when you're able to go do those things, you're able to go have fun and enjoy yourself. You might like traveling or something every now and then by yourself. Keep doing those things even when you get married and when you have kids, because that's what's going to keep you balanced. That's what's going to keep you being well, at least that's part of it. It's not all of it, but it's part of what's going to keep you being the best husband that you can be. It's part of what's going to keep you going to be the best father that you can be. All right, because when you get that time and you step away, you relax, you kind of recoup, kind of recalibrate, I guess you would say. Now you can get back into the game and do what you got to do, with your wife and with your kids. So that's my personal reason on why I believe that every married man should have a hobby. All right, so that's my take on that. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. All right, feel free to chime in. I will respond to your response here. And then, by the way, you guys, I got the fresh cut, repping the bald head community. The trimmers that I use are U-Free trimmers, all right? U-Free sent me out some free trimmers. They work great. I haven't always used them, but recently I've been using them. The trimmers are usually $30, all right? If you want a discount on that, I'm gonna leave a description for the trimmers in this video here. You'll save 15%. So they're only $30 to begin with. If you click on the link and you buy the trimmers, you'll save 15% on your purchase. So I line my beard up, clean up my neckline, shave my head bald with them, nice and clean haircut. So if that's something that you're interested in, click on that link in the description of this video here. Check out my Christian-based t-shirt line, lightshinecreations.com. I'll leave a link to that in this video as well. Again, feel free to chime in, you guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about the audio. Does it sound clear? Is anything in this video bothersome to you? Is there anything I need to work on? All right. Sometimes I think about that. I want to know what you guys think about the videos. All right. How do they look? How do they sound? Keep it real with me. Thank you guys for tuning in. Get you a hobby. If you ain't got one, Get you a hobby, bro. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I try to do more now, and trust me, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better. All right. I feel a lot better doing things for myself, getting out of the house, and just taking that breather, getting back, loving on my wife, loving on my kids, and all of those good things, and it feels fantastic. I should have been doing that, So I would encourage any guy out there, especially if you're married, and especially if you have kids, please do the same thing. And of course, you want to respect your wife and all that stuff. I'm not saying to just march off somewhere on some other stuff, but under control. All those good things within reason. I gotta give all these disclaimers because people can take things and just mix your words up and stuff like that. So that's why sometimes I give disclaimers. But yeah, just do it within reason. Peace out. Have a good one. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button.